What's up, gang? In this video we're gonna take care of this art here in the front. Obviously this is already done, but we're gonna put this on in this video. We had to cover in a hole that was here for I think a dollar bill acceptor, and then we had some holes that were over here on the side, and there was a big patch that was up here on the right that was kind of stripped off. So we bondoed that in, filled it in, and this video is just gonna be a quick one. We're gonna throw that piece of art on and then kind of mock up the cab, see what it looks like, and take some pictures. But stick around and I'll show you how to do it. This is going to be some unprofessional camera work here, and the shop is a mess. But got the bottom of this, bottom of the front, pretty sharp there. And then got that big hole filled in. There's just a slight divot that you can feel right here. Probably only because I know that it's there, and who's going to be rubbing their hand right there anyway. But I think the front is ready to go, so I'm going to clean all this dust off. Gotta let the dust settle in here for a little bit, get this all cleaned off and get it prepped, and lay the front of this the kick plate art on here. And after I put that on there, then I can put, actually I'm going to wait and let him put this piece of kick plate rubber back on if he wants to use that, or if he wants to get a new piece, or how he wants to do that. But that edge turned out pretty good. I'm happy with that one. And then I'm working on this corner here still. Don't mind the rough Bondo, but that's what it looks like when you start, and then that's what it looks like when you finish. But yeah, working on this corner right here. It needs to look more like this corner. Well, that corner needs some work too. I haven't done this side down here yet. But yeah, I'm gonna get this cleaned off. I just wanted to show that. And it's that big hole that was there. That's much better. And then we just had a couple little divots and dings and stuff that I patched up. But all right, let me get this cleaned up and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I got the art on here, kind of positioned where I want it and weighted down. We're pretty much stuck right here just because of where this is, otherwise some of this black is going to show. But I have it centered in there pretty good. We should be fine there. Looks like we're fine left and right. I just got to make sure that it's exactly where I want it. Now the wood underneath I've hit with 80 grit, 120, 240, 360. I think that's as high as I went. But I got it where it's really, really smooth. And when I lay this art down, I'm going to squirt it with, actually not that bottle there, but I'm going to squirt it with a little Windex and a little water. That way, in case I mess up, I can still peel it back up and go. Now, if you don't have that wood really smooth and it's just like, you know, particle board or something like that, that's not going to help you at all. It's just going to drain right in there, and the art probably won't stick either. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some painter's tape and I'm going to block it off about halfway or so, and then I may put the bolts in that go here and to hold that in, and pin this side down here, and then I'll peel the backing off of the art and lay it down that way. There's no backing on this, so I'm going to use the I don't know, it's not sitting here. It's the felt squeegee. But I think that's about it. I'm gonna try to find the tripod. I can't find it at the moment. If I can find it, then I'll let you sit in while I'm doing it. But it's not really that difficult at this part. What I'll show you that actually is the difficult part is if you get any air bubbles or anything like that. But I would kind of like to show you the technique of how I lay it down. But let me see if I can find it. I don't want to take a bunch of time because we got a lot of art to do. So let me see. Otherwise, I'll just throw this one on. We'll do the sides together. Hopefully this will work. Got the mini tripod propped up. All right, so we're gonna have a bunch of things going on at once, pretty much. This is the thing I was talking about that has the felt on it. Like, this doesn't have a backing, so we're gonna use the felt side, which you don't wanna scratch up your art. So you wanna have it sanded really smooth so that your water doesn't just soak into the wood. And then you also, you could also, you know, you might have laminate or something like that over it. But you also want it to be really clean because you don't want like a little piece of something sitting underneath here and you'll feel it every time you run your hand across it. And then I'm going to warm this up with the heat gun. I'm not going to heat it up, I'm not going to get it hot. But I don't want it cold. I want to be in control of it. Otherwise, any little fold or anything is going to cause problems down the road here. Just want it real pliable. That should be enough. Another part that's difficult. Takes 3 hands, as everything in this hobby or job, as it is for me. Alright, come on. So I want to fold it back to my tape line here. And then I'm going to try to, I don't want it to stick to itself. Alright. Or anything else. That'll work. Then you want to cut as straight a line as possible. Make it easier on yourself later in the second half. Okay. Get out of the way somewhere. I want to soak it, but you want to get it wet enough where if you screw up, you can lift it. And now, we get difficult here. You want to just start laying it down. Don't want any wrinkles like that. We're also going to have problems too because the sides, it's actually too wide. So it's going to create us problems like that. So far it's not sticking at all. That's okay too. It doesn't want want to stick it all. It'll slowly stick and we can work the air bubbles out of it. Come on. We got enough water on there so we don't have to worry. Okay. So we got the main part of it. Now we want to squeegee all the water out as much as possible. Take this tape off now. And I use painter's tape because it doesn't have hardly any adhesive. You don't really tear anything up. So in my opinion, it's best to use painter's tape for that. I've never used artwork that was bad enough that it caused problems, but I can see it happening. Get all this water out. You can see where our line is, where our cut is. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm squeezing the air bubbles out in the water. Let's try to do this side here. We can just come back with a razor knife and just saw that off there. I don't see any big air bubbles or anything. Let's say that was successful. Nice and easy. It's probably not gonna do a whole lot. It's probably got a little water in it too. It does. So it's too close to our line there. Alright, so let me resituate us and I'll resituate myself. You guys will probably be right here and just looking there. I'll be right back. Alright, let's just go in reverse here, do the other side. Everything's kind of tacked down for us already, so that helps. In this bottom area here, we're going to have a little bit of forgiveness because we have that big piece of plastic rubber strip that goes there. So that's going to hide pretty much any damage that would have been here, but we don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, so I just want to go over this one more time. Just make sure. Okay, forgot the heat gun. I think that helped it last time immensely. Unfortunately, this section is bigger, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I can already see all the wrinkles that were on this thing have already stretched and come out. We got some over here. Let it down. So we got issues over there. It's all right. It'll be easier now. I'm getting my fingers on here a little bit too much, but like I said, we have some forgiveness at the bottom. We won't have to worry about it if it doesn't stick quite right. So it kind of tried to fold in on me a little bit there, so I was able to lift it up because there was a little water. Probably should have trimmed a little bit more of this off than I did. It'll be all right though. But for you guys, if you run into this problem, I definitely would try to trim a little bit more off than I did. There's definitely some air bubbles on this side, but we should be able to get them out without a problem. And if you end up with a bubble out here in the middle that you just can't work to the edge, you can poke it with like a pin and work the water out of the hole or through the hole that way. So I'm gonna stick down here at the bottom. It's a little too wet. I don't know if I'm going to have that problem though. Looks like I'll be able to squeegee everything out. Get some water here. Go this way with it. Path of least resistance. Doesn't want to stick at the bottom. There's too much water. Let it dry for a second. See, try put the heat gun over here. Put the heat gun on low. A little too low. Try to evaporate some of that water out of there. Let's see, here's a little bubble right here. I have to use the rubber side. I'm just going to let that dry for a little bit. All right. So next, I'm going to take my razor blade and slit around here and get the stuff off the sides here. Get rid of my speaker. Let's see where you guys are aimed at. Okay. Back out a little bit. Sorry about the mess. It has been a crazy couple days of sanding, and been doing like 4 different projects at the same time and trying to clean and organize. Okay. Make sure this is on here real good. Okay. Don't snag. There we go. Don't snag. All right. I'm gonna wait to do the bottom till after it dries. We can do the top and the queen door, I guess. Still a little water in there. Put it on up here. See if you guys can see the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the edge of my razor blade and just lay it right on the edge, right on the corner, and let it do all the work. Cut in right at that edge. This is where having a really good Bondo job pays, because you'll have a nice even surface to cut across. There we go. That's good. move on to the coin door hole. We also have like holes that are around this that we'll have to cut out. There's holes for the kick rail that I'll have to poke out. But I just want to do the major parts with you guys, just in case there's anybody who hasn't done anything like this. That scared me for a second. See, I'm running my finger across it first to see where my crease is and where to stick the knife in. Do that again, right on the edge there of the black. You want to have a good sharp blade too, because I imagine if you have a real nasty, rusty, and dull one, it wouldn't be this nice. And a lot of this edge is going to be hidden too. You don't have to worry about if you mess up on this edge, because you'll have your coin door over it. And there's for our coin door. So let me just give some time for this bottom area to dry out a little bit, and then I'm going to go over and look for any other air bubbles we have and work those out. And then we can put together the front of the game, put the kick rail on, the control panel on. Oh, come on. Kind of get an idea of what it looks like here. Much better than the faded art that was on it though. We'll be right back. Now we can kind of get an idea what it's going to look like. Coin door looks much better now. Same with the kick rail, it looks really good. I need to paint these little bolts that are for the coin bucket. And I need to put the other sticker on this side, and then of course paint these as soon as the weather cooperates. Every time I go to paint, it's raining or misting. What I want to do next, I'm going to end this video and not make it a real long one, but we have two options on T-molding. We either have the black kind of faux leather like the original, and then we also have like a gold brassish looking color. Brassy looking color. So what I want to do is put a strip on either side up here by the tapper, and then we'll take a couple pictures, and then maybe down here by the kick rail and take a couple pictures for comparison, and then you guys can let me know in the comments what you think is better, and I can show the owner and the customer and see what he likes better. But give me a second and I'll set that up. We are not going to have to make a decision on the T-molding. It is just a little too thin. Just a little bit. I don't think it would have looked bad. It would have kind of been odd. We would have needed to probably get gold for these or paint them or something. But probably would have looked good. Would have almost matched the kick rail. I'm hoping my paint will match. And I'm hoping to either do that. It's raining again today, but hopefully tomorrow or the next day. I'm gonna get it done this weekend, for Monday anyway. But let's wrap this one up. Before I do either one of the sides, they're ready to go. We got the Bondo. Okay, I need to do some sanding on the back, and okay, I've only got one bottom. One side I still got to do the bottom on. And then we can do the side art, and then we can focus on The top of the cabinet, which I've been working on up there, it's got a slight water damage, and then the back of the cabinet. And then aside from that, we'll just touch up the wiring and make sure the monitor's adjusted real well and that it plays good. Oh, we do have to make sure that there's sound because we didn't have sound before. Check out the coin door, it looks awesome. Anyway, none of this is bolted on, it's just sitting here for right now. I just wanted to take it in for a second. I was hoping I could run the T-molding down, but there's no point, it's too thin. All right, well, stay tuned for the next one, and hopefully we can get these painted. We'll get the other tapper sticker on there, and we'll slap this side art on. It should be much easier than this front piece. This front piece was kind of contained in between those two, you know, side pieces of wood, so it gives you a lot of restraint. And over on the sides, we'll be able to just lay it down and cut off the extra. It should be a lot easier. Actually, I don't think we'll need as much water because it just, the art wasn't anywhere near as sticky as this control panel felt. Now, this thing felt super sticky, but it was super hard to get it to go around these turns here and then stick and stay. Good times. All right, we'll see you on the next one. These two right here are going to be ground and 5 volt. So what do we get here? Did I not turn the game on? I didn't turn the game on. I guess that would help. Hang on.
Here it is. A nice little trade. The person I traded got what they wanted. I got what I wanted. And a pretty good deal on it too. Super hang on.
Get what I want.
That comes later.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on fire.
Whoa.
Lots of smoke.
Well, that's bad.
Yep. Well, thanks for watching.
When you take care of people, people take care of you in this community.
That's the truth.
So everyone, please remember that. Even if we're competitors, we're not enemies.